the book of Matthew, chapter 24. Point is verse 7. And it reads, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Call Loyam, by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, and say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations who appear like the other nations but subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. This is the brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant. I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This lesson is based on an article I just seen on my Newsbreak app. Not just, but earlier in the day. And it's going into food insecurities and this coming famine that's coming. The scriptures go into about how, it's going to be famines in the last days, as judgment for these people and their wickedness, for those that dwell upon the earth. So, matter of fact, let me get that. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? It goes on to say, verse 14, Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Verse 19, Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. So a scourge is like a whip, like when you whip a child in order for them to help, basically to show them like you was doing something wrong and to correct them. That's why it says sent as scourges for a minute, because a minute is to enact change. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And you've seen that truly with those lockdowns, and then basically when they were lifted the lockdowns, how people went back into their pride and their lawlessness, their wickedness. Well, I say lawlessness. They're lawless to the laws of the Heavenly Father, but they're not lawless to the Esau's laws. But you're beginning to see, people saying, the scriptures talk about in 2nd Ezra chapter 15 how they shall not regard the kings or princes. So you're seeing that right now. It was talking about like in upstate New York during this bomb cyclone, how people basically was looting because they knew they were in an opportune moment too. The police couldn't basically go and rescue people. And people say that was HARP or, Esau's technology, which it could have been, but all things been to the will of the Most High. It tells you in Proverbs chapter 21 about how the Most High directeth the steps of man, or directive the heart of the king, roughly paraphrased. It's one of those. It's a couple ones where it tells you that the Most High is in charge. And nonetheless, just speaking as a man, if that was Esau's, Esau doesn't, control of information is power. So the more the more, but having a society dumbed down, that's why they dumb society down. You would think this technology that's at our fingertips would make people more smart, but make them smarter, but it doesn't. It makes things more convenient. And when you have convenience, that's what makes people lazy. And you see that. And that's where a lot of people, that's going to be made known when times of hardship come and people don't know how to do shit. You know what I mean? Like back in the days, women knew how to cook and clean, and, women could go out and slaughter an animal. They show you that in, what's that movie with Quentin Tarantino? The Hateful Eight. When the Jake woman was plucking the chicken, she plucking the chicken. She knew how to pluck the chicken. She knew how to butcher the chicken. And Jake don't know how to do shit now. A woman probably cuss you out if you told her. You know what I mean? So, these little skills like that are going to be detrimental in the times to come. But verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And right now, you got people, because food's still cheap. I was listening to the brother, he was going into the gas, how gas, I think it was the brother from Kansas City, the head of Kansas City was going into how people were sitting up talking about that they knew the gas was going to go down, but the gas is going to go back up because everything else is going up. If rent's going up and electricity going up and gas going up, why wouldn't the actual natural gas go back? I mean, the actual fuel gas go back up? And when it go up this time, it's not going to come back down. Right now they got me, like for instance, I could see next year being a year of pain, and through the spirit, a lot of brothers is in that same spirit. But not to digress, the point of the lesson is this article, and it says agriculture out of my news break app is out of CNN. Why eggs have been so expensive this year. Several grocery items have gotten more expensive this year, but nothing comes close to the rise in egg prices. In the year through November, not adjusted for seasonal swings, egg prices jumped 49% according to the data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Since early this year, a deadly avian flu has been reducing poultry flocks, specifically turkeys and egg-laying hens. That's one reason for the unrelenting increase in prices, but the situation has been exacerbated by elevated feed and high energy costs for producers, in addition to high demand in the supermarket. Experts think that the peak has passed, but until these conditions improve, expect to pay more for eggs in the grocery store. And they say they think the peak is past. That's all to what's the word? To basically appease the people, not to make them panic. Because, if anything, the shit getting more expensive. I remember the elder brother, Amawan Gabar, did that video, and he was showing in New York how the egg prices was. I believe he said his Eve sent him a picture, a video of it, and I can't remember when that was. I believe it was at the beginning of December, and now I'm seeing that in my grocery store. 18 count of eggs is $7.99. You know what I'm saying? So, they talk about it's gonna get better. Oh, what's so out of control that it's gonna become chaos? They try to make his move. Wholesale prices hit a record. Avian flu has been a problem in the U.S. for several months now, but in recent weeks, wholesale prices have been hitting records. As of last week, prices have been escalating for 9 consecutive weeks, setting new record highs on a daily basis since the week of Thanksgiving, said Karen Rispoli, editor of the Egg Price Current for Owner Berry, which offers food market data. On Friday, Midwest large eggs, the benchmark for eggs sold in their shelves, hit $5.46 per uh because if you double that, it's triple that for real. So I don't even know what I mean. It jumped up 70. Point is that I know it's more than double. You know what I mean? Uh, it says one reason for the increase, not enough supply. And when you go into a time when it's a market for something, the supply or the demand for a product is more than the supply, that makes the prices even go higher. So those accounts when they talk about like with Germany, when the bread was ridiculous amount of money, goods that you will need to live and survive and sustain yourself literally will be super expensive. And I was listening to the brothers, the elders, not just Mwatazak, the elder Mwatazak from Ancient of Days, LA, but the elder from Kansas City, and they was going into, you literally, if you are, I can see you being caught off guard to a degree with the pandemic and, the lockdowns and whatnot, caught everybody off guard. They didn't expect that to a degree. Scriptures tell you never trust our enemy. And back in the day, most families already had prepared or lived. You would have canned goods, you would have batteries, you would have flashlights, you would have extra blankets. Nowadays, people don't live like that. But you just plumb dumb if you, like I said, after the lockdown, you literally don't have some things on deck, extra tissue, extra blanket, extra, extra water, because these things are going to be detrimental when the times that come. There's certainly not enough production to support the incredibly strong retail demand we've seen this year. And that goes into, you got to remember a lot of these food processing plants have been burnt up. And then, you got a lot of theft going on. I'm seeing a lot of grocery stores within certain neighborhoods, not just in the inner city, in Jake neighborhoods, but, I remember going to, our steel yard, which was once an industrial industry, where it was basically a steel mill. And they basically turned it into like a shopping center. So all nationalities come down this area, but it's more so Jake goes down there, but it's not, Jake's area, you know what I mean? And literally I seen that place broken into. So, this thing gonna get serious. I'm gonna end the lesson there because, not end the lesson, but in reading the article because, it says egg demand remains high, and again, like I say, when you have a more of a demand for an item as opposed to the supply, the prices of those things, they could basically put whatever price they want on it, because you got to remember, these companies are still in it to make a profit. The people aren't going to care about that you can't afford to feed your kids. I seen that when the utility company, I missed a bill and it was only like $50, and then when I went to go pay it, they had sent me the other bill. So I'm like, okay, well, on this such and such day, I'm gonna just pay the whole bill. Well, basically, they sent me a message talking about, well, we gonna disconnect your service. And I'm talking to them like, well, damn, it's only been a $50 bill I missed. I'm like, I know people that then got up to $1,700. You know what I mean? So why is it? And they couldn't give me a straightforward answer. So just imagine if you expecting Esau to save you in these times to come, you are sadly mistaken. Scriptures talk about cursed be the man that trusteth in man. And you can't rely on yourself. You can't rely on what you think you got. Because, like I said, you're going to have people that's got things at the house. That's why it's called a bug out bag. If you can't grab these things and take them with you, you know what I mean? And a quick, if you're trying to search through stuff and I want to take this favorite pair of jeans, your ass going to be out. You know what I'm saying? So, Scriptures talk about these times. When you go into the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 22, it talks about, it reads, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And, remember during the pandemic when people were trying to get goods and basically, the shelves were empty. They were showing pictures of in Buffalo, New York, basically how a lot of the supplies and goods was empty because of all the looting. What is this? 2nd Ezra chapter 15. And the point I think I wanted was verse 19. No, I'm going to start at verse 18 and to read 2nd Ezra 15 and 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So people are not going to care that you trying to feed your family. They're going to want what you got because it's going to turn into that dog-eat-dog world. And look at the mentality of these people. I was listening to the elder Mwatazak do a video about the incident, well, the storm that Yahweh Shem Yahushua brought to the country. And, that was judgment to America. You know what I mean? Like, for real. I forgot where I read it at, but they was talking about, like, when you see blood moons. I don't remember if it's basically it's supposed to be a judgment towards Yasharallah, or it's supposed to be a judgment to the heathen. I can't remember. I read it, and I don't know what truth is into it, but I remember we had a blood moon. I can't remember when, but we just recently had a blood moon. And basically this whole, bomb cyclone basically disturbed and disrupted and affected the whole country to the point where the whole country, the airline still is fucked up. You got thousands of people stranded. Call a lawyer, how about shot? And just imagine when it's something detrimental like food. You know what I mean? Like, people ain't even fathoming that. The brothers and those that are spiritually trying to get themselves correct, they understand it. This should make you fear the Lord. I'm gonna end this with this because this, I mean, you know, man, again, like I said, just imagine when food is involved with this. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. So basically, it's saying how it's better to die in battle or die by the sword. The modern day sword is a gun, but you know, to die, you know, because basically that's a quicker death. But to, you know, die of starvation, meaning your body eats itself. Like I forgot what brother said. They said basically your body become the food, and that's why you see people look like they just turn into nothing because your body's eating itself. Scripture saying. He's pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Aqua, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations. Subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Mwath lava ball. Shalom.